Patricia Jo Gross. Everything in my platform is Rise Above with Patricia Jo Grover. We have the Rise Above show, the Rise Above summits, the Rise Above anthology book series, and so excited now, the Rise Above Project, which is a nonprofit under the umbrella of the Institute for the Advancement of Humanity, which is a 501c3 organization. I also have my Bliss Retreat for women, where women can learn to believe in yourself, love yourself, identify what's holding you back, set free what no longer serves you, and set course on achieving your dreams and goals. The next event is Friday, October 29th and Saturday the 30th from 10 to 2. With the Rise Above Summit that we're all here to watch, we have our level 1 sponsor, Roger Burnley, level 2 sponsors, Albert Quarry, Roger Burnley, Dr. Dolores Fazinio, Sheila Farr, and our level 3 sponsors, Shelley Deckant, Dr. Wendy Labatt, Dr. Liz Eisenring, Dan Capellan, Annie Gibbons, Christiana Totor, and Jessica Koch. And our total sponsor. Let's take a minute to hear from them.
Hi, I am Jessica Koch, and I am so excited for you to be a part of our community and our family. I am the Italian mother of 7, been speaking nationally for 25 years, internationally for about 3. We have clients in 8 countries. We offer sales and marketing consulting, LinkedIn and social media training, and most importantly, we have a virtual assistant membership program who can help you get all those millions of microtasks done for you.
Welcome to the Rise Above Summit, October of 2021. We have with us in the environmental dimension of life, Jessica Koch, and her website is right here. But let me tell you a little bit about Jessica. You know, you may recognize her because she was a sponsor of the environmental dimension of life with us here. And what she's going to be talking about is 15 things a virtual assistant can do for you today. Jessica is, and this is why this makes so much sense for her to be doing what she does. It just clicks. Jessica is the Italian mother of 7, an international speaker. Her firm, it provides sales and marketing consulting, LinkedIn and social media training. She has a virtual assistant membership program, and she currently has clients in 8 countries. And she loves kayaking. Oh, Jessica, oh my goodness, it really makes sense with 7 kids why you figured out what, you know, the importance of being able to delegate and how to do it. So happy to have you serving with us in the environmental dimension of life.
Thank you so much. 7 kids. Let me just tell you how many feet that is. Do you know how many socks those are? Can you imagine? We didn't have an unmatched sock basket. I think we had a small dump truck in the backyard of just the unmatched socks. I'm just kidding.
Right. And yeah, so it just makes so much sense. And when we talk in environmental dimension, it's not, when people think environment, they think of the out of doors and they think of ecology, but we have environments. We have our home environment, we have our work environment, we have our school environment, but what you're speaking of really equates to getting the most out of your time. And so that's your work and home environment. So
it is
awesome.
It is. And so often right now, especially people are, I think I pioneered the remote working years ago. I've been doing it we were trying to calculate it. It's at least 19 years that I had been working remotely, and I just pitched it to my a boss I was interviewing with, and said, "Look, if I can, produce, because I was in business development and sales, the results you want, can I work from home? Because almost all my prospecting calls, and except for real in-person meetings, which most of them were phone conferences back in the day. They weren't Zooms. They were a dial-in call conference number. And so a lot of people's environment now more than ever is their home office or their kitchen dining room table. So those environments are starting to meld and merge together.
Right, right. Oh my goodness. It's so, so true. So I have some questions for you.
Okay.
All right. So what are some of the important things on social media that our virtual assistants can do for us?
Well, I often mention getting your profile head to toe dressed so that you don't show up to the party in your birthday suit, right? And also making sure that you are a giver. I'm really a big believer in reciprocity. So making sure you're hitting those notifications. But one of the things I also would like to mention is article writing and blogging. People think, oh my gosh, there's so much on my list. I don't have time to sit down and write an article. But if you're like me, and you're a bit of a talker and you're good at that, there is a really amazing site called otter.ai. And while you're checking email or doing some sort of other mindless task that you have to do but doesn't take a huge amount of your brain power, you can just talk. As an expert in your industry, you can talk about a topic or something you ran across or an article you saw in Forbes or entrepreneur.com that made you think of XYZ, and just talk. Do whatever else. You could be, doing your weightlifting and just have that on your phone and just talk and get things out of your head. In that amount of time, in a 30 minutes of just talking while you're stretching, doing some weightlifting or whatever, just getting things off your mind on your different topics for your industry, that transcription can then be cleaned up and dissected and built into multiple articles by a virtual assistant for you. And then you're able, and sometimes you can even be placed in online international magazines and journal support where they even pay you to be a contributing writer. So can you imagine getting your exercise in, doing some talking out loud as you do it? Just talk to yourself. I know you do it already. Come on, admit it. You talk to yourself. Wouldn't you rather get paid to talk to yourself and have someone else do the work of writing the article? I mean, come on.
Oh, so amazing. That is so amazing. Again, making things come to mind that I probably wouldn't have thought of. So fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So, what are some of the more direct skills of sales tasks that you can give to a virtual assistant to do for us?
So I always start this answer with think about what makes you the most money. And let's pretend one of the things that makes you the most money is your, and this may sound funny, but you should consider this. Maybe you have a $20 mastermind networking event that you run once a month. And it is for your targeted industry. Let's pretend it's for authors. Maybe you're a book publisher and you want to, because people who write books continue to write books. Like, this is a thing, right? So you want to pull together a whole bunch of authors so that they can network and support each other in a room, have a mastermind, and network at the same time. And it's $20, right? This is not a huge moneymaker, but it's going to lead to the relationship, the connections for whatever it is your big moneymaker, right? So a virtual assistant because obviously you're not going to get a client from that if you don't get attendees to attend that, right? Well, the mistake most people make with something like this, and I don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you it's a mistake. So if you're making the mistake, don't panic. It's fixable. But the typical mistake is they quickly set up their events in Facebook and invite all their friends and followers. Well, those people are already your friends and they're already following you, just FYI. And then maybe they're really savvy and they think they're on it like, a rock star, and they've set up a LinkedIn event too and an Eventbrite event. Well, newsflash, most of those people already know you too. There are over 50 websites that for free you can register your events and let the world know who is beyond your bubble, right? Because you will get some movement from you still need to make a Facebook event, make an Eventbrite event, make a meetup event, make a LinkedIn event. But there are 50 other places out there, at least, okay, just the list we've created, that you can put that image up, put the description up, and make a place. And then why do you need to use those sites? Those sites are specifically event search engines. So YouTube and Vimeo are video event search engines. Instagram and Pinterest are image search engines. These event sites are event search engines. And when someone likes that platform and is looking for an event, guess where they're going to look? Wherever they're comfortable and in those spaces. Plus, having your events on all of these credible, used websites, whenever you do on virtually, doesn't help just the person and the customer you're trying to reach. You're also speaking to two other parties without knowing about it. You're talking to all the search engines, so the Gings, I was going to Google and Bing, I just pushed together. So Google and Bings and all of those search engines of the world are reading those platforms, and the platforms themselves are saying, hey, this person's showing up, they're participating. Maybe we should push their stuff up higher in the feed. That happens on all your platforms. They are listening and paying attention to how much you're playing the game. And they are very selfish. They're like 2-year-olds. They want you to play the game on their space. And the more you do, the more love they give you. So if you can then have a virtual assistant, because my golly, do you want to put your event up on 50 different sites? I don't think so. Your team member can go into Canva. They can right size that image, because you guessed it, every one of those websites wants a different image size, and quickly size it, copy and paste, set up all the events, and set them up for the full year. I mean, if this is something you have every month, why not get now to the end of next year already up and out there? Because it gets you more traction. It builds you more momentum. It builds this consistency and presence. It's really super uber powerful. So that is a really high level, easy to do and outsource task a virtual assistant can do for you. Good answer?
Good answer. Good answer. Oh my goodness. So
like I'm on the family food. Yeah. The family food. Good answer. Good answer.
Now this leads me into, Jessica, when do we know when it's time for us to get a virtual assistant?
Oh my goodness. Yesterday, the moment you started your business, I remember the second I was bit with the bug of, I am never going back to doing any of that stuff again. And it was a Wednesday evening, and I live in the beautiful Solomons Island, Maryland, and there is a boardwalk on the water. I had walked on the water with my family on a Wednesday night. We had had dinner together, my husband and my youngest, who's 10. All the rest are grown and gone doing their thing. And we were playing Yahtzee. And for a moment, I thought, oh, the list of things in the office in the other room I need to be doing. And then I went, oh, that's right. I assigned them to my team member and they're all getting done right now. And I had this permission and this ability to feel peace, to feel excited. Stuff was getting checked off my list, because I don't know about you, but man, that big red Sharpie excites me when I can put a line through it or a big fat check mark next to something. And I also, most importantly, had the ability to enjoy the laughter and the smile of my most amazing, handsome love of my life husband, and listen to my daughter giggle and play Yahtzee and be present in that moment, tuck her in, go to bed at a decent hour, and not say, oh, I played Yahtzee, now I have to go to the office until 3 o'clock in the morning to do all those emails and get caught up on those things. I get to go to bed, I get to journal, I get to get up and exercise and breathe, and then wake up to see, just like the elves and the shoemakers, all the little beautiful shoes lined up and done. And this is finished for you, and this is finished for you. And we sent this to so and so, and we did this for this client, and it was all done. And I thought, why does anybody do their work by themselves on their own? I just cannot imagine. And I will never, ever, 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 ever go back to doing it again.
That makes so much sense, and that's like a dream come true, right? Oh my
It
goodness.
is. It
And
is.
so that makes sense. So how did you go about um getting connected with a virtual assistant yourself?
It was a hard and a scary process. I have tried and researched just about every site out there and searched all kinds of places. I still use several different methods, building my own team now, which we are at about 30 from 6 different countries, which makes me feel really good. And just so you know, I am a true blue, made in the USA girl, but I'm also a global human, and I celebrate the families and the humanity and life all over our gorgeous planet. And so we are, as a company, because I was able to outsource and scale the way we have, are going to be bringing on several United States-based employees. We do a lot of outsourcing and just based on project and need. I send a lot of business to clients in the United States, or companies in the United States, and use a lot of United States-based services. But I am also a big believer that it is totally okay to provide resources and employment. And I'm very proud to say that we help families and individuals from 6 different countries, from Nigeria to the Philippines to India to Pakistan to Dubai, with their family and their goals and their finances and their education. We give high-level trainings and support to them, and we're scaling based on some big things that are happening in the company. We're adding, hopefully in the immediate next few weeks, an additional 30 team members. And then within, our goal is overall on a 12 to 14 week period, it'll be a total of additional 100. So we'll have our goal overall is about 150 virtual assistants that we're training in processes and leveraging that resource to continue to scale our company. So it's a very, very, very exciting. And we will be sharing with you my most magical and most favorite, and by the way, most free link of where you can go to find a virtual assistant for yourself. Everything from $1 to $1,000 an hour. I have a training program that's launching that will show you exactly all the things I do. And we do have the agency itself. But I just try to, whether you use us or not, make sure that you are living your best life, scaling your business, and having time for your family too. I believe everyone needs and deserves that. So.
Oh, so true, Jessica. And it really does click, and it makes so much sense with what I do and what you do, that we work together, because the more that we do that, the more we're able to help others go from where they are currently finding themselves to where they want to be. So
Mm-hmm.
so that kind of leads me into the next thing, because a lot of our summit attendees or viewers and listeners may be wanting to get more exposure for their businesses, as we're talking about, what you do with marketing and different things like that. Marketing ourselves is getting ourselves out there. So
Right.
for those people that are looking to get booked on podcasts and stages and on shows, you have virtual assistants that can help them get featured, right?
I certainly do. And, I would suggest that you work with someone like Patty to build out your blueprint and figure out what makes sense, right? Set your goals, reverse engineer them, break down what are those tasks that are going to be connected to that. And included, I'm sure, will be some level of speaking, some level of being featured as a guest podcast, and all of that. And those tasks then can easily be trained and handed over to a virtual assistant team. But for finding work and places to speak, it's all about relationship building. And there is an extensive amount of research that goes into that, and building that information out on finding the summits and the podcasts that are connected to your target market, right? Because you want to be speaking to, so for example, I've been speaking nationally for 25 years and internationally for 3. And one of the conferences that I spoke at was NACUBO, and it is a National Association of Finance Directors for universities and colleges all across the country. So basically the CFO of a university, which was my target client. I needed to speak to the CFO. That was who my customer was. And so to get to that National Association's annual conference and be a speaker was, I mean, I hate this term. I mean, I think fish are really cute, but it's like shooting fish in a barrel, right? And they're also really delicious. So although I don't think we would shoot them, but anyway, where the saying come from, I'm not responsible for that. I'm just going to say that you really want to have that highly targeted audience. So when you're thinking about where do I want to speak, don't just speak everywhere. Speak where your people are listening, right? This makes sense. And there's research that is involved in that. And we've even created a very detailed template of what research is gathered when looking for summit organizers as well as podcast hosts. And the team member can then research those things for you. And then if an email is established for your team member, which I suggest, and I suggest staying away from admin at and info at and support at, do team Patty at or team at, because there's research based on the psychology of how we think about the importance of things that say that a team at email is going to get more highly open than an info admin at email, because that feels like, oh, they're just, I'm not that important to them. They just sent me an email from their admin at or their info at. But when it's team, it's more powerful and feels more directly connected to the lead person, so establishing an email like that for your team members, so that once you've gone through, so they've done the research for you, that's step 1 for the targeted people that in places you want to speak. The next step is for you to scan through them and say, oh yeah, I'd love to be a speaker on these, and check them off. And then the next piece is you'll have made in advance a very short, 3 to 5 sentences, very short email reaching out to that host or summit organizer to let them know how you value their event or their program, what value you can bring to their community, and see about doing some sort of collaboration for this event or future events. Because this research could even be done for past events, because just ask Patty, summit people who put on summits, there's probably another one going to be around the corner, or they at very least know a whole bunch of other summit organizers who are having, you guessed it, another summit in the future who they're going to need speakers for. If they don't have speakers, they don't have much of a summit, just saying. So build a relationship with these people, show the value you can bring as a joint venture and a partner or collaborator with your audience, the gifts you have to offer, maybe affiliate programs, there's even revenue share, all these different ways that you can collaborate. But then the team member is able to send that email out on your behalf. And in the email is a calendar link. So then you have these wonderful joint venture relationships showing up in your calendar for meetings, who've reaching out to you, and you're getting to build that relationship. So this is a wonderful thing to outsource and help you scale everything you're trying to achieve.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, such great content and information you're sharing with everyone. Oh, Jessica, really. So let me go on to something else, because I know myself, I work globally with clients and people regarding the summit, regarding the Rise Above project, with everything. And are time zones a challenge for you as they are for me?
So if you've heard me speak before anywhere in lots of places, I have not said this once, but I've said it probably many, many times. And I always include my disclaimer because somebody out there is going to have something to say about my statement. But, you know, like I said, I'm the Italian mother of seven, but I'm not your mama. I'm not giving you medical, legal, or financial advice, but I will tell you that in my very sophisticated opinion, time zones and sugar are the devil. They are a challenge. They just need dealt with. You just need to decide in advance. You have a policy of grace. Grace is a wonderful thing. And you know, that whole reciprocity and it goes around, comes around kind of a deal. Hey, when you need grace, you better, if you're dishing it out, you better believe one day you'll need it. And hopefully, if you're given enough, you'll receive it when you need it too. So I always say, you know, people say, oh, well, I was going to interview a virtual assistant and they didn't show up for the interview. Well, that's it. If they can't show up for the interview, then how can I work with them? Well, you know, you have to give them some grace because you have messed up a time zone meeting before yourself. I know you have. I know I have. I am super uber guilty. It's just happened. You calculated the wrong direction or you confused the date, or I mean, some of these time zones are so extreme that it's one day for us, it's a different day for them. They're talking to you from the future. They speak to you from the future, just saying. And you know, so you just have to give a little. And there are a few other challenges that they face. But if you're going to leverage these brilliant, amazing people to scale and grow your business to this big thing that you imagine in your dreams that you can't possibly do with just your own two hands, then you have to decide that you're going to give some grace on real challenges for real human beings. And by the way, they are real human beings. We are not hiring robots here. So things like internet connection issues and power blackouts mandated by the government that they have no choice of, and weather conditions, and occasionally screwing up the time zone. You know, just decide what your policy is. Mine's kind of a 3 strikes and you're out. If I'm going to interview you and 3 times you can't show up for the time zone, we might have a real situation here. I have even broken that a few times and been incredibly glad that I did, because some of my very best team members, who never, by the way, after that messed up the time zone again, you know, we worked through it and were able to hire. Their skill set is, as my friend, one of my friends, I'll quote, would say, is amazeballs. So, you know, it's just awesome. So there you have it. Time zones, you know, what can you do?
Exactly.
It's a thing. It's a thing.
Right. So what other are the top issues that somebody might come across when working with a virtual assistant?
So I think, I hate to say this, I'm going to say this with love, don't shoot the messenger, but truly, we are the biggest issue with working with virtual and not the virtual assistant. So our lack of ability to clearly communicate what it is we desire and exactly the step-by-step of how to do that, so that it is what's in our head. For some reason, we believe that these brilliant, amazing virtual assistants are also mind readers. Not the case. Okay. Just saying. So we are, most of the time when someone says, oh, I have this nightmare story about a virtual assistant, I'm sure there's a couple genuine nightmare stories where it was the virtual assistant's problem. But I'm going to tell you, my opinion is, and I'm just guessing, I have no scientific proof to back this data up, but I'm thinking it's probably an 80-20 rule. And I think maybe 20% was you ran across someone that wasn't great, and 80% you just didn't know how to help structure the process and plan out the projects and guide and lead them for what they needed to do. It's a real problem. And that's why a lot of people work with agencies like mine, or soon to be released, get a video training and guide like mine. And we're also launching an annual club where you'll get my consulting once a month and actual click by click videos of what a virtual assistant should be doing for you and how they can do it. So they can watch the video and go and do it, and how to organize and structure all these programs if you already have a team member. I mean, you just need that support. The Fortune 100, and I actually help refer consultants and team members to them as well. They always get a high-level consultant to oversee and manage the virtual assistants. So why would you be any different? Why would you think that, oh, suddenly you know how to run and manage a virtual assistant completely on your own? So either get an agency or join a membership where you'll have access to that consulting and that training and that structure, so that you and your virtual assistant can come and get that guidance you need to get the return on investment that you should be getting, so that you too can scale, so that you have clients globally. And you were announcing the fact that you're adding a standard of United States on-site in-person employees, as well as scaling your virtual assistant team globally to megas, just like I am. Just saying. Not bragging, just saying.
Oh, so wonderful, Jessica. And to have you again speaking, and this is phenomenal, speaking under the environmental dimension of life. And again, environment doesn't necessarily mean ecological. You have your home environment, you have your work environment, and Jessica's showing you how you can make the most of both.
Well, and truthfully, the environment that having a team member do those projects for you, that if the environment space that it affects the most is the one between your ears, you get this peace of mind and you change your mindset. So just imagine you're a business owner, you have these big plans of what you want to do for the business, but your checklist is so gigantic. All you can focus on is the next immediate fire task that must be done by the deadline of the next few minutes. Your brain now does not have the capacity to think about the big other things your company could be doing and other opportunities, or even make room for any of that, because it's so full with what is immediately in front of it and stressed. And so we don't have our best creativity or energy to allow the universe to send us amazing opportunities and things our way if we are keeping it blocked and full with one fire after the another on our checklist. So you give yourself all kinds of gifts when you free up your time with tasks that you really shouldn't be doing. And I have the people who say to me, oh, but Jessica, I just love doing my social media so much. Well, great. Do 3 to 5 posts a month that are yours, that you do, and pass off the rest. Because unless that is making you the most money and you're making all the money in your business from creating those posts yourself, then you might need to make a change. Don't ask me, go work with Patty and she'll tell you the same thing. Don't shoot the messenger. The truth's just the truth.
Right. Oh my goodness. So talking about gifts, Jessica, what do you have for the attendees of the Rise Above Summit?
Actually, it is a video training called The Art of Prospecting. It's on my site right now for $197. We are gifting it to you because you are Patty's people, so you can thank her. And it shows you how to use and access a resource of a very extensive, detailed database that you can find your ideal pre-qualified customers and export that into an Excel sheet. And that training is a wonderful starting point for many businesses to have a virtual assistant actually do that task for them. So it's the very first video that you could hand over to someone else to do for you, or you could use yourself as you're planning out exactly your targeted customers that you or plan on approaching for 2022. And I'm talking exact lists, like the name of the company, how much revenue they make, are they private or public, how many employees they have, the names of the decision makers, the emails often of the decision makers, so having this information and research and zoning in on who you want to be your customer is how you achieve this. You cannot go on vacation if you do not know where you're going. You cannot land a client if you don't know exactly who you want. So this is a super powerful gift we're giving you. So, sign up, take it, use the link or not. And we'll also be including the link where I find my most amazing people, and it is free to use the link. And I thank Patty so much for having me on this amazing summit.
Just taking everything that you're learning, folks, from the people that are speaking in each one of the dimensions of life, because that's what they're here. They're here to serve and help you in whatever aspect and dimension that you may be struggling with. And if you need to move forward with your business, hook up with Jessica and I, and let's make this happen. 20 we'll get you prepared to make 2020. Yeah,
Two.
2022. Oh my goodness.
I said it right, I think.
Make 2022 the best one for you. Awesome.
That's right. It even rhymed.
Thanks for being with us, Jessica. Welcome to the Rise Above Summit, October of 2021. I'm your host, Patricia Jo Grover, also known as a goal achievement strategist. Everything in my platform is Rise Above with Patricia Jo Grover. We have the Rise Above show, the Rise Above summits, the Rise Above anthology book series, and so excited now, the Rise Above project, which is a nonprofit under the umbrella of the Institute for the Advancement of Humanity, which is a 501c3 organization. I also have my bliss retreat for women, where women can learn to believe in yourself, love yourself, identify what's holding you back, set free what no longer serves you, and set course on achieving your dreams and goals. The next event is Friday, October 29th and Saturday the 30th from 10 to 2. With the Rise Above Summit that we're all here to watch, we have our level 1 sponsor, Roger Burnley, level 2 sponsors, Albert Quarry, Roger Burnley, Dr. Dolores Fazinho, Sheila Farr. And our level 3 sponsors, Shelley Deckant, Dr. Wendy Labatt, Dr. Liz Eisenring, Dan Capellan, Annie Gibbons, Christiana Totor, and Jessica Koch. And our total sponsor. Let's take a minute to hear from them.